when we as India celebrate the life of Mahatma Gandhi, the inspiration of the Mahatma, we would never be able to move that sort of movement forward without South Africa. These are two nations which rose in the world with one iconic inspiration, Mahatma Gandhi. With us here today is a gentleman who has been a phenomenal academic, an outstanding orator, a very passionate person for the progress of the world and for the world to be a happier and a more solution-oriented space. He is the Deputy CEO of Research and Innovation Support and Advancement at the National Research Foundation in South Africa. He is a Harvard alumnus, a man with enough amount of accomplishments to his life. He has been a person who has done enormous amount of work across the world, published numerous papers. He has been someone who's been part of more than 60 primary research papers, including several highly cited works and peer-reviewed international journals. He's also an honorary research professor at the UKZN and DUT in South Africa. He is also a recipient of numerous awards, a very popular speaker at various conferences. I've had the fortune and privilege of sitting in the same classroom with him for periods of time when we studied together for a year. And it's truly, truly a pleasure and honor, and perhaps extremely appropriate here today to have our first speaker to set the whole ball rolling for WSIS here today as NextGen Innovate unfolds itself. The Deputy Chief Executive Officer of RISA of the NRF from South Africa, Dr. Gansen Pillay. Dr. Pillay, a huge welcome to you. Thank you so much for taking your time off. I do know that you're hard pressed on time today. Two nations would be on overdrive on Gandhi Jayanti, us and you. I can completely understand that, but truly wonderful that you accommodated the time to be with us, and especially for young Aditya. All yours, Dr. Pillay. We'd love to hear from you as we unfold this wonderful day with millions of youngsters who are going to be watching this today and in the days ahead. All yours, Dr. Pillay. Welcome to you.
Thank you, Giri. Distinguished guests, and that includes each and every one of you, a greeting from South Africa, warm greeting from South Africa. It is an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege to make a few remarks at this inaugural World Student Innovation Summit. May I also take this opportunity to congratulate Master Aditya Pachpande for developing his novel UVC sterilization product, the Suraksha box, which has been approved by the CSI out of India. Aditya, my personal congratulations. It was most inspiring to listen to you. And when I hear your ideas, I am comfortable in the thought that the future is safe. Ladies and gentlemen, it is significant that this summit is being held on the birthday of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, affectionately known as Gandhiji or Bapu. Incidentally, Gandhiji was assassinated on the day and month of my birthday, so it'll always be remembered. It is also appropriate that this summit is anchored by one of Gandhiji's well-known quotations, namely, "Be the change you want to see in the world." The quotation of our late former President Nelson Mandela would also be most appropriate on this occasion as well. And I quote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." As Giri has mentioned, South Africa and India have a very special relationship, a bond that spans decades. For the information of those who've joined us, Indians first arrived in South Africa in 1860, some 160 years ago, to work as indentured laborers on the sugarcane plantations. You may also be aware of the system of apartheid, or separate development, under which we suffered. The system sought to divide and rule the various race groups in South Africa. It was the only system in the world that legally and through the country's constitution discriminated against its citizens based on the color of their skin. In April 1893, Gandhiji, aged 23, set sail for South Africa to serve as legal counsel to a merchant, Dada Abdullah. Immediately upon arriving in South Africa, Gandhiji faced discrimination because of his skin color and heritage, like all people of color. In June, Dada Abdullah asked him to take a rail trip to Pretoria, Transvaal, a journey which first took Gandhiji to Pietermaritzburg, Natal, which is the province that I live in. Unfortunately, Gandhiji was thrown off a train at the Pietermaritzburg railway station in South Africa after a white man objected to him traveling in the first-class coach. Gandhiji had refused to move out of the first-class section. He spent nearly 21 years in South Africa where he practiced law, developed his political views and ethical frameworks. Gandhiji organized Indian resistance, fought anti-Indian legislation in the courts, and led large protests against the colonial government. Along the way, he developed a public persona and a philosophy of truth-focused, non-violent, non-cooperation he called Satyagraha. Gandhiji also considered himself very much an Indian and a South African. In 1899, he became the first honorary secretary of the newly formed Natal Indian Congress. In July 1914, Gandhiji sailed for England en route to India, leaving South Africa for the last time. What we as South Africans of Indian descent inherited, firstly through our origins in our motherland, is a culture. And secondly, through Gandhi's teaching, is a liberation struggle. And our motto has been liberation through education, not revolution, passive resistance. We also learn the power of nonviolence and the importance of human rights and human dignity. Like Gandhiji, our late former President Nelson Mandela abhorred discrimination. In his treason trial, which carried the death penalty, he stated, "I have fought against white domination, and I've fought against black domination. I've cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I'm prepared to die." Distinguished guests, it is against this backdrop and the occasion of Gandhiji's birthday that this inaugural Student Innovation Summit is being held. It is about the resilience of the human spirits, the ability to innovate in the face of challenges facing humankind like COVID-19. It is about thinking positively and being able to turn adversity into opportunity. Lastly, allow me to leave you with some take-home messages because I see that there are a number of individuals that have joined us for today's summit, and I'd like to express my sincere appreciation for them taking time to be able to share some of the thoughts that I have. Firstly, and this is largely for the political front, it is critical that a country has the political will and resources to invest in research. Investment in research is an economic driver, and it what catapults a country into greatness economically. Secondly, an enabling environment must be created by our academics and researchers. And I want to thank all those academics and researchers who are listening in and whose job touches the lives of millions of people without them even knowing it. Passion, thirst, enthusiasm, hunger for knowledge cannot be taught, but it can be conveyed through human interactions. Great teachers not only ignite the minds of students, but also touch their souls to inspire them further. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I have a message for the students, our next generation of researchers. You will find, dear students, that having the right attitude, a curious mind, and the courage to walk paths that have never been treaded before may lead to wonderful discoveries. You will learn that when you get on top of a hill, the same scenery at ground level looks different. You will also learn that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. And like Aditya, your future depends on the following. It's not about your ability to think inside of the box or outside of the box, but rather to innovate without the box. And as you can see, Aditya's innovation outside, without a box, has actually produced a box, the Suraksha box. Lastly, I want to leave the students with the following words. In the words of Nelson Mandela, and I quote, "It always seems impossible until it's done. You need to interweave your passion for learning into the fabric of what is available in society and how you can turn these adversities into opportunities." In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, great and impactful research knows no borders or boundaries. Collaboration is important, and it is a catalyst for information. Team stands for together everyone achieves more. Therefore, collaboration is important. In order to advance science, technology, and innovation, especially in emerging economies and developing countries, a quadruple helix approach is required. That is a collective effort by government, academia, business and industry, and civil society. Sincere thanks for your attention, and I wish you well with the summit, and my very best wishes to Aditya and all his fellow students. Thank you for your attention.